Do you guys agree with Shawn that the Benavidez is the best fight for Canelo? Because I actually disagree.
I
I
agree.
think it's Caleb.
I agree. I've been a big.
Me, you agree with Shawn?
I agree with Sean Zeitel from Fight Hype.
I think the style that can give Canelo problems is not Benavidez, because Benavidez is going to walk you down. He's going to throw combinations. He's slick defensively, but not like, I don't think he's on Caleb's level defensively. I think if Caleb movement wise could give him trouble, or Benavidez I don't think could.
I think that Benavidez will be in trouble against Canelo. I don't know if he has learned enough in the ring to be able to defend everything that Canelo is gonna bring, because Canelo's bringing it all offensively and defensively, So I feel the same way you do, Carson. I feel that a guy who can move, a guy who can be defensive, make Canelo miss, and get Canelo to what we call open up, start to drop his hands. Maybe it's because it's frustration, or maybe it's because, he's just talking to himself, anything like that. Anything, when you get a guy to get outside of themselves, then you may have a chance to capitalize. And so I feel the same way you do, Carson. I know a lot of people, including my dad, don't feel that way. I think my dad would bet that Benavidez is a better fight for Canelo than
Hey, Sean, quick. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
my bad.
Because I forgot his name.
No, I'm saying, but we've seen this with the BS of boxing last night with the judges. Caleb can't really be his slick on the back foot, come get me type deal that night. He might have to go get him and take it. Otherwise, he may lose the fight. You see what I'm saying? He will have to get up in there and get in the fire. That's what I feel. Yeah. I feel like, when with your fights, I feel like sometimes you got to get in there and get in the fire. Otherwise, the judges already feel like you don't
Can
lose.
you beat Canelo like that, though?
But can you beat Canelo? Can you just jab?
I thought Laura beat Canelo, but
I know this is I'm just saying.
Going all the way back to what I said when we started the show, in terms of the psychology of when you watch fights, because
he's the Floyd Mayweather of boxing now. He wasn't on that level back then.
True, very, very true. I think that movement from Caleb gives him more trouble than Benavidez's offense. And one thing to mention about Benavidez, which I think is somehow overlooked, we give this new generation like Teofimo and all these guys absolutely their credit when it's needed. You realize how old David Benavidez is?
24.
He's 1 year older than Teofimo.
I think people, Carson, people probably really think he's like 28, 30.
Because he was a title holder so young, and then even since then, he's obviously lost his title a couple ways outside of the ring. But I was sitting there yesterday, I was like, that's crazy.
Same thing with Canelo. Canelo's not a lot younger than he seems.
Yeah,
because he's been on top for so long.
Yeah, I just don't know if you can beat. Benavidez is so good offensively. I just don't know. I don't know if that's how you can beat Canelo. I don't think you can sit there and throw with that guy, because I think Canelo is better than Benavidez defensively and offensively. I think defensively, Caleb and Canelo can kind of be, right there with each other, but I don't know.
I feel like Caleb hasn't fought the right opposition to just go fight a Canelo right now.
And you might not
I think
be wrong
him
for
and
that.
Benavidez need to fight, and the winner gets Canelo.
I do not disagree.
That's how I feel it should go.
Yeah,
but
I don't disagree with that.
I think Caleb's just going to sit back and wait for Canelo. And what if Canelo does him like Floyd did Amir Khan? Then what happens? Then what happens?
Him and David Benavidez, right?
You got to fight him.
Yeah. But I think, Carson, like you mentioned, a lot of people thought Lara beat Canelo. I think where Caleb would have to look at that tape, and we're talking about would the judges give it to him, I think you got to fight the best fight you can fight possible and let the judges play out however they're going to play out. But, he's got to look at where Lara maybe should have stepped on the gas and threw an extra combination here or there. He decided to keep his movement going. That's where Plant has to learn from Lara, is he has to win some of these rounds with conviction and push his foot on the pedal, where Lara was a little safety first that time. So
how do you think, we mentioned Plant and Benavidez, and they both fight not too far apart from each other and both obviously get wins. Not impressive, like show out dominant performances from either of them, in my opinion.
Not fighting the best opposition either.
That I think makes it even worse.
I'll give Benavidez the edge over Caleb because, when you get the guy out of there, you always get some extra points for that. Them not looking I think Caleb actually, you talked about, or what was it? Ant said he doesn't know if he's faced the best opposition in getting ready for Canelo. He probably onto something there because I saw Caleb not regress his last fight, but look flat. Like against Feigenbutz, Mike Lee, Uzcategui, he was on fire, clicking on all cylinders. Then this is his second or third fight in a row now against what we would call lower opposition. And it's like, not quite regressed, but flat, and
no excuses, but we do have to remind ourselves that he hurt his hand relatively early in that fight against Caleb Truax. And I know that to be true because I've seen him. And I know that, his hand was hurt. That always changes the game plan. It always changes your the way you fight. And, you basically have to kind of adjust to the situation and maybe even make it through, and again, it's funny how we're saying that he made it through, even though he won 12 rounds consecutively. And we're talking about he made it through, I think if anything, we had the expectation that he could take care of Caleb Truax, if not early or the middle or the late half of the fight. And then when that didn't happen, we're all like, But I don't think it was a terrible performance. I think it was more of
I don't think either was bad.
No, I still think they're the two baddest boys outside of Canelo.
Yeah.
Along with Canelo.
I think we all feel like these guys are not on their level.
Yeah.
All of their opponents.
Oh, yeah.
No, on Benavidez.
They fought.
Yeah.
I would
like
agree.
Caleb and Plant and Benavidez just
I thought both were good performances, potentially special, great performance. I just don't think they were like elite, like, whoa, man, that was a statement.
Like what Tank did to Santa Cruz, something like
that. Like,
why you didn't even bring that back up, man?
It just wasn't something that really caught our eye. But no, I think there's some fights to be made up there.
They're both here and fighting each other would win the winner. That pushed them over the top as this clear number one, top guy to fight Canelo. But not how boxing's working. So
what about the Charlo? He got to throw him in there because him and Caleb was bumping heads, bumping gums right now.
Yeah, Benavidez also called him out. Charlo,
not Caleb.
You meant Benavidez,
yeah. I love Charlo, but at 30 years old, I would have liked to have seen him face better competition at this point. I really do love Charlo. He's such a good fighter. I don't think he'll have a lot of problems moving up to 68. He's a big guy, so I'm just saying it's time to stop talking and to fight the best. Yeah.
It's that point in career. Like I think Benavidez said, like, I'm 24. You guys are 30, 28, 30 years old. Yeah. You guys got to go. Yeah. I don't. I'm still going to be here for a minute.
Well, then let's throw a wrench in it because...
Okay, you're going to 168.
No.
Porter Canelo.
Benavidez has called out Jermall Charlo. Is that a fight that you want to see?
Hell yeah.
Or less than a fight with Caleb Plant?
Plant number one.
I want that fight. Caleb, yeah. That's big. That's a big fight, man.
Like they're both at the same level for me.
I wouldn't say the same level. I would absolutely take either of them, but I would have Plant somewhat comfortably ahead of the Charlo fight.
That fight does
it doesn't matter to me.
That fight does number on pay-per-view and a stadium sales.
The build-up would be great too because they've been talking trash to each other for years.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the most personal fight in boxing right now, probably.
Yeah, it could be.
Benavidez versus Caleb Plant that I could think of.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.